Yes, good people, welcome back. Here in this section, we want to look at these selected questions. We want to look at how to get the derivative of inverse trigonometric functions. And I've selected these three examples just to guide you on how to do many more. So I want to start with the first one. And like in our introduction, you remember how we were able to get the derivative of y is equals to the arcsine of x, and therefore it's a similar thing. So when you write y is equals to the cosine inverse of 2x, it is the same as writing that cosine of y is equals to 2x. Then this one is similar, is something familiar to you, is an implicit function, and therefore to get the derivative is to get the derivative with respect to x of both sides of this function. And we know how whenever y is involved, the derivative of cosine is a negative sine of y, and then we get the derivative of y. We know how when y is involved, we must multiply by dy over dx. This one is equals to the derivative of 2x with respect to x is 2, making y the subject. You get dy over dx. If you make that the subject, then you get a minus 2 divided by sine of y. So what is sine of y? Recall the properties. So this is where we use the property cosine square of theta plus sine square of theta is equals to 1, meaning if you make sine the subject, then you're going to have sine square of theta is equals to 1 minus cosine square of theta. If you make sine the subject, it becomes the square root 1 minus cosine square of theta. So my dy over dx becomes a minus 2 divided by the square root of 1 minus cosine square. I don't have theta, I have y. Okay, then this is equals to, if you look at this part here, if you look at this part, okay, cosine of y is equals to 2x. Okay, cosine of y is equals to 2x, meaning cosine square becomes what? This is minus 2 divided by the square root of 1 minus the not cosine. This is going to be cosine of y is 2x. Cosine square becomes 4x because it's 2x squared, which is 4x squared. And this is the answer. Okay. So if we can pick the second one, this is the first one. I want us to pick the second one. And the second one is alternatively, I can leave the second one for you. I do the third one. So the third one says you get the derivative of y is equals to, sorry, this was supposed to be inverse, you put inverse there. So this is equals to x squared cosine inverse of 3x. So this is the same as you want to write it in a form that doesn't have inverse, so you start by writing y divided by x squared is equals to the cosine inverse of 3x. So that now when you write it without the inverse, you're going to have cosine of y over x squared is equals to 3x. Then we introduce the implicit differentiation, okay, and this is the derivative with respect to x of both sides. That is cosine of y over x squared is equals to 3x. Now this one gives you what? This is going to be a negative sine of y over x squared multiplied by what? Multiply this function by the derivative of the argument. So this one becomes a quotient. So the derivative of a quotient, we use the quotient rule. So it's going to be derivative of y, which is y prime. You know, derivative of y is dy over dx, which is y prime, multiplied by u, which is x squared, minus y the way it is, multiplied by the derivative of the denominator, 2x, and then you divide by denominator squared. Excuse me. So this is x4. Okay, and then on the other side we're going to have derivative of 3x is 3. So what I want to do is to make y prime, which is my dy over dx, the subject, and then substitute a few other things, and then we'll be there. So if we do that, then I'm going to have y prime x squared minus 2yx is equals to 3x power 4. I've multiplied both sides by x power 4, and then you divide by the negative sign y over x squared. There's a negative there, so making this guy the subject shall give me dy over dx is equals to, this is this, no, before that, sorry, we can do what? Let us remove this one first. We need to isolate this guy. So this is y prime x squared is equals to a minus, or I can start with this guy, because this guy is positive. I can start with 2yx, take this guy to the other side, then you have a minus 3x power 4, then you divide by the sine of y over x squared. So we divide everything by x squared, so dy over dx is equals to 2yx divided by x squared shall give you 2y over x minus 3x power 4 side divided by sine of y x squared divided by x squared shall give you 3x squared divided by the sine of y over x squared. Then we want to do away with y, so we want to ask ourselves, what is y? Is it y? Yes, what is y in this equation, and what is the sine of y? Yeah, so we go back to the property again. Which property do we want to use? I want to erase part of this so that I can be able to write here. So allow me to erase the first question. This is the first question I'm removing. We are there, and I want to make sine the subject again. So good, here we go. Now if you look at this property here, we already have that the sine of theta is equals to the square root. So it therefore means that if you have, I'm writing here, if you have, let me use a different color so that it doesn't mix some people. If you have the sine of y over x squared, it means it is the square root of 1 minus the cosine square of y over x squared. Tuko hapo. Now what do we know? We know what else do we know? We know what y is without the x. The other thing that we know is that y is the same as, is the way the question was given. It is the same as x squared cosine inverse of 3x. You know, we want to eliminate the y's, eh? Okay, what else do we know? We know that the cosine, where we know that the cosine of y over x is equals to 3x, meaning a square should give you a square of this. Okay, that is cosine square of y over x. Sorry, x has a square down here, so let me not forget that. This one is the same as this one squared, is the same as 9x squared. So these are the things I want to substitute at this point. So at this point I want to write what? I want to write that change in y over change in x is equals to 2. What is y? X squared cosine inverse of 3x divided by what? Divided by x minus 3x squared divided by what? What is sine of y? The sine of y divided by x squared is the same as the square root of 1 minus cosine square y over x squared. Finally, yeah, we substitute this y. So what is the final answer? The final answer is going to be 2x squared cosine inverse 3x divided by, there is x, so the x and the x up here cancels out. So I want to erase something there. Okay, so I'm erasing this part, this bit, so that I can make a correction on it. So this one, the x and the x cancels out, so I have 2x cosine inverse of 3x minus 3x squared divided by square root 1 minus, what is cosine square? Cosine square is right here. It is the same as 9x squared, so minus 9x squared, and this is our final answer. So what I want you to do is I want you to try question number 2. Let me highlight this question. I did not do this one, and I also want to add another question 4, which is y equals to the tan inverse of x. And number 5, I want you to try y is equals to a squared. This is a squared, then tan inverse of 2x. So try these 2 questions and you'll be good to go. So have a nice time.